Yo, listen up, crypto fam. I'm not here to sell you hopium. I'm here to show you something that's actually happening right under your nose. Picture this. You roll out of bed, open your portfolio, and AVAX is sitting at $200 a coin. Sounds nuts, right? But what if I told you that move is already loading in the background while most people are sleeping on it? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. The avalanche is coming, and when it hits, you're either riding it or getting buried under it. Back in 2021, Avalanche ripped to $146, and that was with half the ecosystem it has today. Think about that. The network was still a baby, and it already touched mid-triple digits. Fast forward to 2025 setup, the market's warming up again, Bitcoin's gearing for another halving cycle, and the smart money's quietly circling back. Every time I check the charts, I see the same pattern. Accumulation zones tightening, volume creeping up, wallets getting stacked. The whales aren't tweeting about it, they're just loading the bags while retail's chasing meme coins and rug pulls. Classic move, right? Let me drop a stat that'll make you raise an eyebrow. Avalanche now hosts thousands of active developers, and its total value locked has jumped over $1 billion again after the brutal 2022 crash. That's not speculation, that's commitment. Real builders don't waste time on ghost chains. They follow liquidity, tech, and scalability. And Avalanche's subnet model, bro, it's a cheat code for blockchain expansion. Each subnet is like its own mini-universe running in parallel. No congestion, no insane gas fees, just smooth throughput. It's like Ethereum and Solana had a turbocharged baby that actually works. But here's where it gets spicy. Big names are quietly sliding into the Avalanche ecosystem. You've probably heard whispers about Amazon Web Services partnering up, right? That wasn't some PR stunt. That was step one in connecting enterprise-level infrastructure with decentralized tech. You know what that means? Real-world pipelines. Governments, corporations, fintech companies, all testing on Avalanche subnets, while influencers keep arguing about Dogecoin memes. Wild, right? Now, I know some of you are like, bro, every coin says it's the next big thing. True, but AVAX got receipts. When you look at transaction finality, we're talking sub-second confirmation speeds. Ethereum takes minutes, Solana struggles under load, but Avalanche, blink and it's done. That's the type of performance institutions want before they drop serious money in. And guess what? We're heading straight into a market cycle where performance plus adoption equals exponential price action. Still think $200 sounds unrealistic? Let's break it down logically. Market cap math, if AVAX even reclaims its previous 2021 valuation and crypto's total market doubles like it always does after halving, we're already knocking at that door. Add a few big integrations, some staking demand, and bam, the rocket's lit. And remember, the last time people laughed at a triple-digit target was Solana at $20. We all saw what happened next. But hold up, I'm not saying ape in blindly. There's always a setup before the breakout, and that setup is forming right now. You can literally feel it in the sentiment shift. One day the charts look dead, the next day influencers start mentioning AVAX again, volume spikes, and the narrative flips. It's like watching storm clouds gather before a lightning strike. You know it's coming, you just don't know when the first bolt hits. That's the moment smart traders position early, quietly, patiently, while everyone else waits for confirmation that never comes until it's already too late. And yo, here's the part nobody's talking about yet. There's one secret catalyst sitting under the radar that could send this thing parabolic, and it has nothing to do with hype. I'm talking about a tech unlock that connects Avalanche to the next wave of real-world assets. Yeah, tokenized finance, gaming economies, cross-chain liquidity. It's all brewing under the hood. The devs already know. The insiders already know. The question is, do you? Because when this thing erupts, it's not going to be slow. It's going to be one of those blink and you miss it rallies where retail jumps in at 150 thinking they're early while the whales are already taking profit. That's why you need to understand what's building before the crowd catches the scent. So keep watching, stay locked in, and don't blink because in the next part, We're diving straight into the real reason whales are stacking AVAX right now.
Yo, check this out, crypto fam. Every single cycle, there's that one moment when the market's dead quiet, everyone's crying bear market, and out of nowhere, whales start stacking. You ever wonder why that happens? They don't move with the noise, they move before the noise. And right now, while the timeline's chasing dog coins and airdrop dreams, the smart money's quietly loading the AVAX bags like they know something we don't. Look at the chain data. Wallets holding between 10,000 and 100,000 AVAX just spiked for the first time in months. That's not retail, that's institutional level stacking. These whales ain't here to scalp 10%. They're here for a $200 story minimum. They've seen this movie before. Low hype, strong fundamentals, and silence before the breakout. That's their sweet spot. Retail's out here trying to 100x on meme plays, burning gas fees on garbage, while the real killers are watching liquidity flow into Avalanche. It's the same pattern that happened with Solana in 2020. No one cared until it was too late. You can almost feel the energy shift. Charts look flat on the surface, but under the hood, the ocean's moving. Big wallets transferring millions, DEX volumes creeping up every week. You know what that means? Confidence. These guys don't just throw cash into a dead chain. They've done the math, seen the partnerships, talked to devs. They're not guessing, they're betting on data. And the craziest part? They're doing it quietly. No tweets, no hype threads, just silent accumulation. That's the kind of move that flips markets overnight. Here's where it hits emotional. People keep saying crypto's over, the bull run's done. But the whales don't care about the news cycle. They care about opportunity. They buy when the crowd's scared and sell when the crowd's euphoric. Right now, fear's still high, confidence is low, perfect environment for accumulation. It's almost poetic, man. The same people who call crypto a scam today will be the ones screaming FOMO when AVAX prints green candles 6 months from now. Let's talk psychology for a sec. Retail thinks price creates conviction. Whales know conviction creates price. They buy first, then the chart follows. That's why on-chain data matters more than headlines. When you see wallets increasing their holdings during boredom phases, that's your real signal. That's when the next bull move seeds are planted. And here's the twist most folks miss. These accumulations aren't random. A lot of these wallets trace back to venture-level funds and liquidity providers. They're not gambling. They're front-running infrastructure upgrades, subnet launches, and token burn events that retail doesn't even know are scheduled yet. When you see an uptick in long-term staking addresses and zero hype on Twitter, you're watching patience in action. That's where the real money hides. Now, emotionally, think about this. Back in 2021, the same type of wallets loaded Solana under $30 and Polygon under $1. People laughed. Fast forward a year, those bags turned into life-changing money. That same energy is crawling into AVAX again. History doesn't repeat, but it sure loves to rhyme. And yo, this isn't hopium. This is cold data mixed with real conviction. Avalanche's network activity is up nearly 40% quarter over quarter, even during a quiet market. Gas fees stable, subnets expanding, dev count hitting new highs. Those are metrics that whales track. They don't care about YouTube thumbnails or influencer hype. They care about throughput, security, and adoption curves. And all three are lighting up green. Let's get real for a second. When whales buy, they're not just predicting price, they're predicting attention. They know the moment the crowd wakes up, liquidity floods in, and that's when they unload for massive gains. It's a chess game. And right now, they're 5 moves ahead while everyone else is still figuring out the rules. But here's where it gets spicy. There's one specific reason their confidence is peaking right now, and it's not just because of chart patterns. Something recently unlocked inside Avalanche that changes the whole equation. A development that connects subnets to real-world use cases, gaming, finance, tokenized assets, all in one ecosystem. The insiders know it, the devs are quietly celebrating it, and that's exactly what's fueling this silent whale rally behind the scenes. And I'm telling you, when that news goes mainstream, it won't stay quiet. That's when you'll see those $200 price targets show up on every influencer's title. But by that time, the smart money will already be sitting in profit while everyone else is buying their exits. So yeah, the whales are loading up, not out of hype, but because Avalanche just pulled a move that's about to flip the entire narrative. And in the next part, I'm going to break down exactly what that hidden unlock is, why it changes everything for the AVAX ecosystem, and how it could make the 2025 bull run one for the history books. Stay locked, because the next segment is where it all connects: the tech, the adoption, and the trigger that could send AVAX straight toward that $200 mark.
Yo, listen up. Everyone's hyping Solana like it's the only layer 1 left standing, but low-key, Avalanche might be the one flipping the whole narrative next cycle. And I'm not saying that for hype. I'm saying that because what's cooking under the hood of AVAX right now is way bigger than most people realize. See, while everyone's busy chasing meme coins and short-term pumps, the real tech, the one that'll power the next generation of crypto infrastructure, is being quietly built by Avalanche. And the craziest part? Hardly anyone's talking about it. Here's the thing. Avalanche isn't just another blockchain fighting for attention. It's like a multiverse built inside crypto. You know how Solana and Ethereum run as single-layer chains? Avalanche splits the game. It runs on something called subnets. Think of each subnet like its own mini-universe, custom-built, independent, with its own rules, validators, and even its own tokens if it wants. It's like giving every project its own private blockchain highway without traffic jams. Now imagine a future where gaming studios, banks, real-world assets, and Web3 projects each have their own subnet, all connected to Avalanche's main network. That's not a dream, bro. That's literally happening right now. When you look at Avalanche's numbers, you start realizing why smart money's already positioning. The network's been scaling quietly while everyone's distracted. We're talking thousands of transactions per second, finality under 2 seconds, and gas fees that actually make sense. Compare that to Ethereum's gas wars or Solana's outages. AVAX just runs smooth. And here's what makes it wild. Subnets don't compete with each other. They collaborate. It's like every subnet adds more power to the ecosystem instead of draining it. The more subnets that go live, the stronger the Avalanche network becomes. That's what devs call a network flywheel, and it's already spinning. Projects like Shrapnel, a AAA blockchain shooter, are already building on Avalanche subnets. Institutions are exploring tokenized real-world assets through Avalanche tech. This isn't some vaporware roadmap, it's happening now. And while everyone's sleeping on it, Avalanche just upgraded its architecture to make deploying subnets easier than ever. You can literally launch your own chain with custom parameters. Want instant finality? Or private KYC-based chains for institutions? Boom, subnet. That flexibility is unmatched. Now let's talk psychology, because crypto isn't just tech, it's timing and attention. Right now, the hype cycle's all about Solana. But that's exactly how smart investors make money. They rotate before the crowd catches on. Remember how Solana was ignored at $3 back in 2020? That's Avalanche today. Same energy, same disbelief, same "nah, it won't happen" phase. And that's where the big money wins. Here's something most people don't even know. Avalanche's subnets are now EVM compatible. That means devs can migrate Ethereum apps straight into their own subnet with full customization and scalability. No headaches. Imagine DeFi protocols running gasless, private, high-speed environments all under Avalanche. That's game-changing. And get this, Avalanche isn't fighting to replace Ethereum or Solana, it's building alongside them as a multi-chain layer that connects ecosystems. The idea is interoperability. A future where every subnet can talk to other chains seamlessly. That's where crypto's heading. Not tribalism, but integration. And Avalanche is already there. Now here's the part that's about to shock the market. Real-world adoption. Governments and institutions are exploring Avalanche subnets for regulated finance, tokenized assets, and even identity systems. That's real utility, not hype. Picture this. A major financial institution launches its own regulated subnet for tokenized securities. Every transaction instant,
every asset transparent, every user verified. That's not a fantasy. That's the direction Avalanche's technology is moving toward. And when those announcements go mainstream, you already know what happens to the chart. So yeah, while retail's sleeping and meme coins are doing 5-minute flips, the whales are quietly loading Avalanche bags. They understand something the crowd doesn't. This tech is designed for scale, speed, and survival. Every bull run has its silent killer, the one everyone ignored until it broke out and left everything behind. Last cycle, that was Solana. This time, all signs point to Avalanche being next. Because when a project combines top-tier speed, real-world use cases, and institutional-level architecture, and it's still undervalued, that's not a coincidence. That's opportunity. And what's coming next might just be the spark that sends Avalanche into a whole different league. There's a massive real-world partnership brewing, one that could unlock billions in on-chain assets through subnets. And when that goes mainstream, you already know what happens to the chart. So yeah, while retail's sleeping and meme coins are doing 5-minute flips, the whales are quietly loading Avalanche bags. They understand something the crowd doesn't. This tech is designed for scale, speed, and survival. Every bull run has its silent killer, the one everyone ignored until it broke out and left everything behind. Last cycle, that was Solana. This time, all signs point to Avalanche being next. Because when a project combines top-tier speed, real-world use cases, and institutional-level architecture, and it's still undervalued, that's not a coincidence. That's opportunity.
All right, this is where it gets unreal. Avalanche isn't just a crypto project anymore. It's becoming real-world infrastructure. Yeah, we're not talking about hype, memes, or speculative pumps. We're talking about a blockchain that's quietly positioning itself to power the future of finance, gaming, and global enterprise. See, here's what most people still don't get. Avalanche isn't building for crypto Twitter, it's building for the world outside it. The kind of world where banks, governments, and corporations are all exploring blockchain, but they need something that actually works. Something fast, scalable, and secure enough to run billions in assets. And guess who's already setting up that framework? Avalanche. Now let's get real. When you see a Layer 1 project partnering directly with Amazon Web Services, that's not a flex, that's a statement. Amazon literally picked Avalanche as one of its preferred blockchain infrastructure providers. Think about that. AWS runs the backbone of the internet. Netflix, Twitch, Airbnb, even government data, all hosted on AWS. And now Avalanche is right in that ecosystem. That's not just visibility, that's validation. It means enterprises can deploy Avalanche subnets directly through AWS with a few clicks. Imagine a bank launching its own blockchain network, not in years, but in minutes. That's how deep this integration goes. And here's where it gets crazy. This isn't just about finance. Avalanche is stepping into GameFi, real-world assets, and institutional-grade DeFi. Projects like Shrapnel, one of the first AAA blockchain shooters, are building directly on Avalanche subnets. Real studios, real funding, real gameplay. Not some half-baked demo. This is gaming meets crypto at scale. Now, zoom out for a second. What happens when traditional industries start realizing they can build private, compliant, high-speed blockchain networks that actually integrate with Web3? You get a full-blown avalanche of adoption. Pun intended. And let's not forget, Avalanche is regulation-friendly. It's one of the few networks that allows full customization. Institutions can build subnets with KYC, compliance layers, and transaction visibility while still staying decentralized. That's exactly what traditional finance wants: blockchain speed without losing control. Here's the thing though, retail doesn't see this yet. They're still chasing the next meme pump while smart money's front-running the future. That's why you're seeing quiet accumulation from whales and funds. They know this isn't just another altcoin gamble, it's infrastructure-level innovation. When you have AWS integration, institutional interest, and gaming partnerships all happening before the next bull cycle even starts, that's not random. That's the setup phase before the explosion. And the data backs it up. Daily active addresses are rising, subnet deployments are increasing month by month. DeFi TVL on Avalanche has seen multiple upticks even during market drawdowns. That's not speculation, that's usage. The beauty of Avalanche tech is how invisible it feels to the user. When things just work, nobody thinks twice. That's the same philosophy behind Apple's design. Simplicity on the front, complexity handled in the back. Avalanche does that for blockchain. Fast, frictionless, powerful, and ready for mainstream use. Now here's where the story turns wild, because Avalanche's next wave isn't just digital. It's real-world tokenization. We're talking about real estate, carbon credits, institutional debt, all tokenized and traded on-chain using Avalanche subnets. Big players like Deloitte and financial institutions have already started testing it. This is mass adoption in motion, not theory. Think about this. When a trillion-dollar company like Amazon recognizes your tech, when gaming studios start using your ecosystem, and when financial institutions start testing your infrastructure, what do you think happens when the market wakes up to it? It's simple math and timing. The price doesn't wait for headlines, it moves before them. That's why early birds are stacking AVAX right now before retail even blinks. Every cycle has that one narrative that feels too early until it's suddenly too late. Ethereum had it in 2017, Solana had it in 2021, and this time, Avalanche might be holding that torch. The next 12 months could decide who's actually building versus who's just trending. And Avalanche, it's not trending right now, it's building quietly. And that's exactly why it could explode the hardest when momentum shifts. Because here's what happens when the world starts realizing Avalanche isn't just a blockchain, it's a launch pad for industries. You get exponential adoption, you get real-world utility, and you get numbers that force the market to reprice everything. And the setup, it's already there. The partnerships, the subnets, the ecosystem growth, all pointing toward a single narrative. Scalability meets adoption. So yeah, while everyone's distracted by hype coins and rug charts, Avalanche is out here laying bricks for the future of Web3. And when those numbers hit, when the charts reflect what's already happening under the surface, that's when the magic happens. Because numbers never lie. And if you look close enough, the $200 setup, it's already forming.
All right, let's get real. Can AVAX actually hit $200? Or is this just another round of crypto hopium floating around on Twitter? Because honestly, when you zoom out and connect the dots, it doesn't look like hopium at all. It looks like setup. The kind of setup whales dream about before a cycle even begins. Let's start with the facts. AVAX already proved itself once. Back in 2021, this thing ripped from under $10 to nearly $146. That's a 14x move during a cycle that wasn't even fully mature. Now fast forward to where we are. Network metrics are stronger, tech is sharper, and partnerships are miles deeper. And yet the price? Still chilling under $50. That's not weakness, that's compression. And when compression meets momentum, things go parabolic. Here's what most traders miss. AVAX's current market cap compared to its last all-time high sits around 1/4 of what it used to be. Even if it just reclaims that old peak without any new liquidity entering the market, that's already a 4x. Now, imagine what happens if Bitcoin hits a fresh high. Because, let's be honest, when Bitcoin sneezes, altcoins don't just move, they moon. And yeah, I know, everyone's tossing numbers like $200 just because it sounds nice. But we're not doing that. We're talking math, not dreams. So let's break it down. Pull up the Fibonacci extension from the previous bull run top to the 2022 bottom, and guess what the golden zone points to? Somewhere between 185 and 210. That's literally the technical sweet spot. Not hype, not wishful thinking, pure chart geometry. Now add fundamentals on top of that. Avalanche's subnet ecosystem has grown faster than most layer 1s this year. Total value locked has been crawling up even in sideways markets. And if institutional adoption hits, which, based on AWS and Deloitte collabs, looks likely, the capital inflow could easily push AVAX's market cap near $100 billion. At that point, the math lines up perfectly with a $200 valuation. But let's play it safe for a second. Conservative case. AVAX reclaims its previous high at 140 and chills. That's still a 3-4x from current prices. Moderate case. The bull market extends through late 2025, liquidity floods in, and AVAX taps the 160 to 180 zone, a solid 5 to 6x. Bullish case. Bitcoin crosses 200,000, Ethereum breaks 10 grand, and Avalanche rides institutional hype straight past 200.
And the beauty is, this setup doesn't need miracles. It just needs patience. Because every market cycle follows the same story: disbelief, accumulation, breakout, euphoria. Right now, we're sitting dead center in disbelief. People are still calling crypto a scam, still saying bull run's over, while smart money is quietly loading the bags. And here's the emotional punch. If you missed Solana when it was chilling at 20 bucks, this might be your second shot. Back then, people laughed at Solana's downtime, at its crashes, at its congestion. And a year later, those same voices were chasing it above 200. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes loud enough for anyone paying attention. See, what makes Avalanche different is that it's not selling a dream. It's delivering performance. Subnets are real, transaction speeds are real, partnerships are verifiable, and community dev growth is consistent. That's the combo every successful run needs: tech, timing, and trust. And Avalanche is ticking all three boxes before the market even wakes up. But yeah, let's keep it 100. No chart goes straight up. Volatility will be insane. Whales will shake retail, bots will liquidate leverage, and news cycles will try to spook everyone out right before the next breakout. That's the cycle psychology. But that's also why conviction matters more than hype. Because when this thing actually starts moving, it won't give you time to react. The same people calling it boring at $40 will be chasing green candles at $150. And that's where you decide. Are you going to be early, or are you going to be exit liquidity for someone else's plan? And yet, before you FOMO into any trade, there's a twist most people ignore: a risk that could flip this entire story upside down. Something that could slow the momentum just when everyone expects liftoff. And that's exactly what we're breaking down next. Because while the tech and partnerships look unstoppable, there's a hidden factor building behind the scenes, and it's the one thing even Avalanche can't outrun. And that's exactly what we're breaking down next.
All right, listen. I'm not saying sell your house for AVAX, but if you don't have this on your radar right now, you might seriously regret it by next summer. Because this market, it's not waiting for anyone. And the people sleeping on it today are the same ones who will be crying, "I should have bought," when the charts start printing green candles like fireworks. Let's keep it real for a second. No coin, no matter how hyped, is risk-free. Even Avalanche. Yeah, the setup looks crazy bullish, the partnerships are solid, and the tech is next level, but there are still landmines on the road to $200, and ignoring them? That's how people lose when they should have been winning. The first big risk is regulation. It's coming, whether we like it or not. Governments are finally waking up to crypto again, and this time they're not just dropping tweets, they're dropping laws. If the US or Europe tightens compliance on staking or layer 1 ecosystems, it could slow Avalanche's momentum short term. But here's the flip side. Avalanche is one of the few chains actually built for compliance. Subnets can integrate KYC and regional rules, meaning when regulation hits, Avalanche doesn't get wrecked, it adapts. And that's a massive advantage most people overlook. Then there's the Bitcoin dominance factor. Every altcoin lives in the shadow of Bitcoin. If BTC starts its next big leg up, dominance spikes and altcoins bleed. But that's where patience pays off, because right after Bitcoin cools off, that's when alt season ignites. And the ones that held strong during the bleed, they fly the hardest. Avalanche has the fundamentals to be one of those rebound rockets. So yeah, short-term pain, long-term payoff. And let's not ignore token unlocks. They scare people. But let's be honest, unlocks don't kill strong projects. They just create temporary dips that give smart buyers better entries. Whales love these events because retail panics, sells cheap, and big money scoops the bag. It's literally the oldest game in crypto. So if you understand that, you don't fear it, you use it. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about hype, it's about timing. Every single cycle has that one accumulation window where everything feels quiet, boring, dead. That's where conviction is tested. That's where future millionaires are made. And right now, that's exactly where Avalanche is sitting. The perfect mix of undervalued and overlooked. The smart play isn't chasing pumps, it's identifying setups. And Avalanche right now looks like that setup.
fundamentally strong, technically coiled, and emotionally ignored by the mainstream. That's the sweet spot before liftoff. And look, maybe you're thinking, yeah, but what if it doesn't happen? That's fair. Nothing in this game is guaranteed. But what's riskier? Taking a calculated position in a project with real tech and real adoption, or missing out completely because you were waiting for someone else to tell you it was safe? Because the market doesn't send invites, it just moves. Remember Solana at 20 bucks? People laughed, called it a scam. 6 months later, they were begging to get in at 200. Ethereum under 100 bucks? Same story. Bitcoin at 3,000? Same story again. Every cycle has that moment where opportunity looks like doubt. And this might be Avalanche's moment right now. So no, this isn't about FOMOing into green candles. This is about positioning before the noise begins. Because once mainstream media catches up, once influencers start screaming AVAX to the moon, the easy gains will already be gone. The big money is made in silence. Here's the game plan. Treat this like a marathon, not a sprint. If you believe in the tech, dollar cost average, stay patient, and don't let short-term volatility shake your conviction. Because the people who survive crypto winters are the ones who own spring. And yeah, there will be dips, brutal ones. There will be news cycles trying to shake your confidence. But if you understand the bigger picture, the real-world use cases, the institutional push, the subnets, the adoption curve, you'll see why this isn't just another coin. It's a system built for the next generation of blockchain expansion. So as we head into 2025, this is your reminder. The avalanche is coming. You'll either be on top of it, riding the wave, stacking profits, watching your patience pay off, or you'll be buried under it, wishing you acted when you still had the chance. Your move.